So this is my P90 Strat. So I've always wanted a Strat with a big fat headstock, and I know that it was a thing that Fender did to make the headstocks so that people knew that it was a Fender, so that they had these big headstocks in the 70s, top of the pops and all that. I bought the guitar from eBay for about £99. It was a Squire. Squires these days are really good. It was a Chinese Squire. I think it was their standard series or whatnot. I know it keeps changing all the time. Not really that interested in the series, but it basically had a big headstock, skunk stripe, which are cool, and it was the right colour. It was very Jimi Hendrix. Okay. The only thing that's very not Jimi Hendrix is the little truss rod adjustment up there, but it's not a bullet truss rod, which is a bit of a, they're not great, and it's not one that you adjust down there, which is a pain. So I was quite happy with it. Everything was quite nice on it quality wise. Neck pocket was really good. It was quite a resonant guitar. I dig it. Okay, the bridge saddles were a bit nasty. They were a bit kind of like blocky looking. Probably a good design, but I just, yeah, I prefer like the old vintage Fender ones, or the ones that you get on the 90s Fenders, the graphite ones. They're pretty cool. Anyway, I bought it with the intention of making it into my own custom guitar, and around about that time, which was November 2022, I just customised a Telecaster and put a P90 on the neck, and it just sounded ace. Especially when you crank it up, just sounded really chunky. It was the tone I wanted. I basically bought a pair of P90s with a loom, so they had the pots and the switcher as a three-way switcher, and it all come on a loaded scratch plate, and I think it was about 40 quid. So that was a bit of a bargain. It was off eBay. Came, I don't even know where the P90s, what brand they are, but you know, who's making knockoff P90s? It's not that popular. It's like, you know, it's like that whole thing you used to get with Apple Macs, where you used to think no one made viruses for them. Well, of course they do now, but it was that kind of thing. And it has, it had on it these, they'd upgraded to lock-in machine heads. Now these lock-in machine heads are absolutely rubbish. The machine heads slip. I don't know what brand they are. I don't think they're legit. I think they're probably, you know, Chinese 20-pounders from, you know, AliExpress or whatnot. So at some point in the future, I'll change it. But the thing is with guitar modding, and I sit in both camps, and I've said this before, when you buy a guitar to modify, you become, it's almost like a vehicle, you become quite attached and intimate with that instrument, and then when there are flaws on it, you tend to not mind so much, or you say, well, I'll just fix that at some point, and then you put it on your sort of list of things to do, as opposed to buying like a brand new guitar. Like when I bought a brand new PRS, I bought a brand new PRS a few months ago. I bought the John Mayer signature, the Silver Sky. That had issues with it, and I wasn't happy that it had issues with it. Now these issues I could fix myself, or I could take to someone. So I ended up taking it to my friends at Taverners Guitars, who are really good, by the way. And if you want a Les Paul, they've got like 14 you can try out, and they're all different and all of that. But every guitar they do, they set them up, and they're just beautiful. And I've got a load of students who are walking around with these guitars that they've bought from them. And they all play like, you know, they all play the same, which is a really high standard guitar. Some of them are Squires that they've bought, some of them are Epiphones, some of them are, you know, legit Gibsons. But every one of them plays just beautifully. So I took my PRS to them, and they ended up having to, you know, what did they do? They did a fret dress, and they had to sort out, it had like 13 high frets, which, you know, is rubbish, isn't it? It's not what you want. I could have, you know, for the money I paid for that guitar, I could have probably bought a Squire or something. This is like perfect out of the box, you know, all the frets are mint on it, and plays great. So anyway, another thing I upgraded was the bridge saddles. So what I've put on here, Fender vintage ones, and that, to me, it makes a difference. To some people, they'll just never know. You'll notice they're really rusty already. I've not had them that long. But the thing is with me and my guitars, I tend to sweat, and even that PRS Silver Sky, I've done after about 20 gigs. So from August when I bought it to November, I'd done about 20 gigs with it, and I'd sweated on it, and it was already looking like a relic, you know, on the bridge. So it's just something that happens. I think it's a me thing. I even clean it after, so I've got this really regimented process where after every gig I clean my guitars down, and I use fast fret and all that. But yeah, it still does that. I've started putting little silicone bags in my guitar cases. That's helped a little bit. That was some advice from a drummer friend. Anyway, let's play this. So you notice the hum. That's the P90 thing. You know, in the middle it'll hum cancel because they're both on. Okay, I've put 11s on it. I can tell I've put 11s on it. Listen to how chunky that is. You know, and the whole thing is just shaking. I mean, that's a good thing from a guitar. I love it. The whole guitar's just vibrating, and I can feel it on my belly. That's on the neck pickup. And then on the bridge. I'm a massive Bros Landreth fan as well, so I did see some videos of I think it was Ariel Posen playing something similar to this guitar. So let me try it with it. Put it with a boost on. Oh, listen to that with a boost. This is basically the Echoplex preamp section. It's an MXR booster, but it just, listen to it. That's without. It's like giving your guitar roids. And it's quite, even though it's like a Squire, I put 11s on it, I've adjusted the action and everything. It's got quite a lot of low end for a little, you know, a cheap guitar. Yeah. So when you're doing a gig with something like this, you can just play it, you know, as is. This kind of pickup, the two in the middle. People are cool with that. But I've also, using my Helix, I've got an EQ. So when I put the EQ in, that's it without the EQ. Sounds good, but it's a bit too juicy for some So what I do is I'll just EQ and take out some of the mid to low. It sounds more like a Strat then, doesn't it? You know, people like it if you got, because it cuts through as well. You get that in between. That's the kind of Strat kind of, you know, kind of tones that you kind of need on a gig. And then you can just take that off and you're suddenly back into, you know, Bros Landreth or whatnot. So yeah, I recommend doing those kind of things to your guitars if you're brave enough. It's very low risk if you get something like a Squier that's cheap. And there's also other brands like Woodtone and people that make kits. A friend of mine, Alex, he's had some amazing Strats. And his Strats just sound fantastic, and he's put things in like Big Dippers, pickups and things like that. And he's gone for like real, you know, you could get a neck that's like a 66 neck, you know, with a slab board, and like, you know, your truss rods adjusted down there. It looks like a real Fender, proper thick, a lot thicker than these are. You know, you can really go to town on what profiles you like.
Don't forget to subscribe!
And I do feel like this is like, you know, my signature Strat, if I was to have a signature Strat. Things that are wrong with it at the moment, obviously I mentioned the tuners suck, but you've also got, here's my guitar volume, that's it fully up, that's it fully down, still on. There's a problem with my pot, so I'm going to have to get a new pot in there. And some I mean, I could spray it full of deoxit or whatever it's called, detoxit. I've got loads of that I use on all my stuff. That's probably one of the things that I'll have to address at some point. But other than that, it's great. The trem's cool on it. It does stay in tune. The tuners do a job. They're just not as, you know. And it's got these really heavy 11 strings. I might change them down to 10s. I think I'm past sort of, I think I'm old enough now not to need thicker strings, and for whatever bragging rights that comes with. It just has a great tone. It's quite inspiring. It makes me play differently when I get it. Yeah, it's got a nice, it does a nice thing. So a big thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you can. The likes help with the algorithm and everything that we're trying to do here. Cheers.